Hey, this is Jay and Ryan from Wire 3. We are here in our first series, I guess, product reviews, streaming devices and services. Ryan?
Yeah, we're going to put together a series of videos to help our customers or potential customers to understand what the options are out there for cutting the cord with cable for television and going the streaming route. Wire 3, we provide lightning fast internet service. Providing options for television is one of our key corporate culture initiatives, is allowing you to choose what's right for you. And so we're here to just kind of show you what the options are out there, what it looks like, let you kind of see us fumble our way through setting it up so that you don't feel as intimidated when the time comes to make a decision yourself.
Exactly. So our first episode here is going to be a review and an install setup for a Google ChromeCast device. Just to get started, the screen you're looking at right behind us is what you should see on your screen as you plug in a Google Chromecast into your TV. I have the handy remote right here, and we'll start the pairing process by hitting the home button and left arrow key at the same time. Hold them down until you see the light pulsing. Oh, there. Now it's pairing. Look at that. When you follow the directions, it works well. Since we are here in the United States, we're going to do English. No offense to anyone that speaks Spanish. Ooh, I guess we're going to look at our Google Home app. Bear with me here a second as I get the code up on my phone.
While he's doing that, you can also see down below, if you don't have a smartphone or you're not handy with QR codes, you can set it up on the TV. It's going to take a little longer because you got to type in all the letters with the buttons that are on the remote.
Why don't we do that here,
okay,
rather than the app, which no one can see. Set up on TV instead. That's what we're doing. So we are going to set it up, Wire 3 wireless. And I'm going to have to remember what our password is.
Well, while he's doing that, I guess we'll talk about, so the Chromecast, for anybody who's new to streaming, this is a device that will plug into any of your televisions that have a USB or an HDMI input to them. I think it will also work if it doesn't have an HDMI through a USB input as well. The Chromecast is just one of a handful of different devices that you can quickly plug in to allow your dumb TV or your old school TV to become a smart TV without having to go out and spend a lot of money on a new television. It's not going to necessarily offer you all of the channels. That'll be a different series we're going to do about the different streaming products that are available out there. But this is just the hardware that allows you to use your Netflix or Hulu or any of the other streaming services that are out there. This is going to allow you to do that without having to buy a whole brand new TV.
Best part is this device, along with any of the other ones realistically that we're going to review, are all under 50 bucks. I think the only one that's more than that is the Apple TV, which we'll get to at a later date, which is closer to $100, but also has a lot of functionality that the other devices don't have. All these devices, quite honestly, in my opinion, I've used all of them. They all have pluses and minuses, and it all comes down to personal choice at the end.
Yep. A lot of it comes down to what you're using for your computing as well. If you're an Apple person, then the Apple TV might make sense. Another customer installed. If you are a PC person, then maybe the Chromecast will make sense. But really, any of them, you can do streaming from your computer to, you can do casting websites and videos from the computer, from your phone, cross platforms. Most of them at this point have just accepted that everybody uses different things and they need to play nicely with each other.
So right now, the Chromecast is downloading a system update. Any new electronic device you buy these days, including a new TV, is immediately going to download a system update as soon as you plug it in and connected to Wi-Fi. So Chromecast is no exception, and all of the other devices that we're going to review here are going to be no exception to this. This system update should be pretty clear cut as we go forward here. There you see it restarting already. Get the trusty remote here. So I will tell you, one of the things, so I've tried all these devices only because, well, I'm curious and I wanted to try out all these devices before I recommended them to other people. So I personally subscribe to DirecTV Stream, not for really any good reason other than at one point I had NFL Sunday Ticket and you had to get some DirecTV product with it. DirecTV streaming television platform. It means you can stream live television over your computer or your TV or your phone or whatever without a satellite dish. It doesn't have an app for Chromecast.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you're a DirecTV Stream customer or thinking about becoming one or thinking that that might be the right option for you, Chromecast, not your choice.
That's good to know. Yeah, there are little nuances you find with all the little different streaming devices. I was telling Jay before we hopped on here that at my house I have a couple of different types of smart TVs, and the one in my living room I've selected because it said on the box that it works with Apple, Android, and Amazon products, all three. Because back a few years ago, they were very selective and closed box. And if you like, the Chromecast used to not allow you to do Amazon Prime, and the Amazon Fire Stick used to not allow you to use YouTube TV. They have since gotten over that and allow each other to cross platforms now, but it was a big sticking point just a couple of years ago.
The other cool thing is, Ryan mentioned the Apple, I think it's called AirPlay and Google Chromecast from your phone. I use that all the time. All these devices, for the most part, support it. I use them all the time, not to watch TV, but to put whatever video game I'm playing on my phone up on my TV so my kids can see it, right? And then we'll play back and forth and pass the phone back and forth, and you don't have to worry about your kids or you crowding over someone's shoulder looking at their phone.
I've never done that before, but that's a great idea. I'm going to have to try that when I get home tonight.
Yeah.
All right, we're in reestablishing your network connection.
Cooking with gas. All right, time to sign in with your Google account. And that's where you cut back in, because I just entered in my password and I'm logging in here. Don't email me at wire3j@gmail.com. I don't even check that email address.
That is an account created for this video.
We'll use all these services. So important thing here. Google is asking you, do you accept Google services? You don't have to check all these boxes, right? You don't have to let Google know where you are, right? You don't have to improve Chromecast. You don't have to get recommendations or get services through Google. But you can, and I kind of recommend it only because, listen, Google's probably taking your info anyways.
Yeah.
Stay in the know. Do I want to get emails from Google? No, thank you. Do you want Google Assistant? So Google, yeah, we want the full experience. So the cool thing about Google Chromecast that I know for a fact Roku Fire Stick does not have is, if you're like me, I want to watch the Avengers movie, but I have no clue what system that is on. Is that on Netflix? Don't know. Is that on Disney Plus? Don't know. Is it on HBO Max? No idea. Or is it on Apple TV? No idea. If you're using a Chromecast device, you can just search Avengers and it will tell you what streaming service it's on. You don't have to use a third-party service or guess or anything else.
That's what Mark was telling me, that he was like, you need to get one of these even if you have a smart TV, because for that reason, because you can say, hey, Google, show me the Avengers, and any of the ones that you're subscribed to, it'll pull it up for you. Just watch Jay check a whole bunch of boxes on those streaming services. You don't have to have all of those, folks. If you're a lunatic like me, you pay for all of them because you're too lazy to go through and figure out which ones you don't really need anymore. Plus, I have kids, and they all watch at least one show on every single one of those different apps. If you're just trying to replicate your cable experience, just pick one of the live streaming apps, and you can get away with a $30 to $40 a month bill instead of paying for your cable bill or whatever you're paying for your TV today. If you even are sticking with some other non-streaming television inlet, but you got Netflix because you like the movies, these devices are great for being able to watch Netflix on your high-def television rather than on your computer, like some people have to if they don't have this stuff.
I would also say, there's a ton of different services. I click 7 of them. You'll look through there, and we'll do reviews on as many as we can over the next year, or maybe even longer, because it might take that long. There are dozens of services. Seemingly every day there is a new either charge service or, in a lot of cases, ad-supported services. So I know for a fact that I think Netflix has been in the media lately saying that they're going to introduce an ad-supported streaming service. Peacock has been out there for quite some time, which is NBC's streaming service with an ad-supported service. It's not as good as the one where you pay for it, but it's free.
Disney Plus is turning into an ad-supported service now too.
Yeah, they're all doing it. So do you want to pay an extra couple bucks, get no ads, or do you want to pay less or even free and still have to watch ads like it's regular old TV. That's personal choice. We all like to pretend we're so busy that we can't see the ads, but that's up to you.
I think my daughter was 3 before she understood what a commercial was, because most of our streaming that she was doing was commercial free. And then she started watching YouTube videos, and in the middle of the video, a commercial would pop up. She's like, "Daddy, where did my video go?" Like, this is a commercial, sweetheart. You have to pay attention to these. And then sporting events are the other thing we see commercials on. But other than that, we pay for all the non-commercial stuff.
Funny story, while we wait for these apps to install, Ryan, do you remember when one of the younger members of our company didn't know what primetime television was?
Yeah, that's only one of the many ways that he's made me feel very old.
Yeah, we had to explain that primetime television is the hours between 8 and 11 after the local programs are over and before the local news. Although even that's going the way of the dodo. I think NBC announced that not this year, but maybe next year, they're getting rid of the 10 to 11 o'clock hour.
Oh, wow.
Of original programming.
My kids don't even understand that you have to wait till a certain time of day to watch Paw Patrol. They just stream it all day long. If I was like, no, Paw Patrol's on at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, my daughter would look at me like I had 3 heads.
The apps have now finished installing. I have the remote here, which means you're going to have to bear with me as I go through here. Right? So you can see right here, this the system is already making recommendations for us. Somehow only 32 minutes are left in Criminal Minds on Pluto TV, even though I've never used this. And we can look at different services. As you can see, the interface for Google Chromecast is pretty slick, pretty easy to move around. What you'll see on some of the other services, and we were talking about this earlier, is some of the devices are what I would call more budget devices, meaning the interface isn't as snappy, doesn't have as many cool features, and it just might be slow. Important fact to note, depending on what smart TV you buy, if it has a Google Chromecast on it or Roku or a Fire Stick on it, it might have slower hardware than what you can buy at the store, and these things are pretty cheap. As I said, except for the Apple TV, they're all under $50. Not on sale, that's just what they cost.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who actually have smart TVs, but also have a Chromecast attached to them because they like it. It's faster and they like the interface better, like you were saying. One thing that I would point out here, if you're looking at this, like the first handful of options, you've got For You, you've got live, movies, shows. That's making recommendations based upon the apps that you selected that you have subscriptions to and what's available on those apps. So this interface is going to feel different than what you're used to if you're leaving cable TV. However, an important point of note, if you go to where it says apps over there, you can select the specific app that you want to engage with rather than having it bundle it all for you. So say you're just really comfortable with more of a traditional live TV interface, whatever app you're using for live TV, when you log into there, that experience is going to be much closer to your standard, here's your channels, here's the shows that are on, where this can feel overwhelming the first time you try it out because you're so used to just saying, okay, I want to watch CBS or whatever your channel of choice is, right? It's not intuitive unless you go into one of the live TV apps from this hub, but you just go to apps and select the one that you use and you'll be back to comfort zone right there.
I will tell you, I started using streaming television for live TV maybe 3 or 4 years ago. At first, it was really confusing. I kept wondering, if you go look at the remote for this, they all kind of look very similar. What you'll notice is there's no numbers on this remote. I can't type in 02 and get to channel 2. And that was super confusing when I first started. But what's happened now is I hardly ever go to the channel guide. Why? These devices are pretty smart. So it knows if it's Sunday at 1 o'clock, I'm probably watching a football game, and it recommends, hey, football game's on Fox, turn to Fox. And I just click a button and it turns me to Fox.
Yeah.
If it's 9 o'clock at night, it knows my wife loves to watch NCIS. So NCIS is right up there as the first thing recommended.
And with this specific one, with the Google Chromecast, the coolest thing that we haven't even touched on at all is the Google Assistant, because that Google Assistant is way smarter than the first time you ever tried it. So you can hit there's a button on here with those little bubbles. If you hold that button, there's a microphone in the remote, and you can say, play Paw Patrol. Okay, so this is optimized right now for Pluto TV. So if you had a Pluto TV account, you would hit install, but you can take and select what your main app for using live TV is. And you see there's a gajillion of them here. So part of the setup, you'll just want to select which one you use to watch your live TV on. So that's a bad example.
Yeah.
Good and bad examples everywhere you go, I guess.
So we'll come back to this topic in future episodes of our podcast here, because what we're going to be doing is looking at YouTube TV, Sling TV, DirecTV Stream, Hulu TV, as well as I think Fubi TV or Tubi TV. There's like, as Ryan said, there's about a bajillion of them, and there's pluses and minuses, with some of those pluses and minuses just being cost. So I think that's it for this podcast. Within the next couple of weeks, you'll probably see a couple more where we review an Amazon Fire Stick, a Roku stick, and an Apple TV, and then we'll get into the service.
Yeah, so comment on this if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, share it with your friends and family. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can do that on any of our social media channels, Wire3. We monitor that, and make sure that you let us know what other topics you want us to make videos on, because we're pretty open to it. We just want to provide value to the community and let people know what the options are out there, so you don't have to operate out of fear, but you can operate out of educated choice.
And that's a big thing here. All we're trying to do is enable your choice. One of our big tenets at Wire3 is we don't want to choose what TV service you use. We don't want to choose what movies you watch. We don't want to choose anything you do. We just want you to give you really fast symmetrical internet so that you can make those choices for yourself and give you tools that'll help you make that choice.
Thanks for watching our first video. Hopefully they get better even from here.